Well, hey everybody, my name is Anna Hansen and I'm the sales director here at ByteSpeed, and I'm really excited to introduce this awesome panel of speakers we have here. They're going to be talking about a solution that we offer called Verkada for security cameras and access control. So really neat conversation. It's going to be more of a demo than anything else, but please let me know if you have any questions. You can just throw them into the chat window and I'll answer them, or you could use the Q&A, whichever is easiest. So with that, I will hand the floor over to you guys.
Cool, thanks. So I'm Brent Gerzema. I'm the Director of Technology at Greene County Community School District. Tim Buenz, who was here before I was, is also on, and then Bob Smith. So Tim and Bob work at TechZone, and they installed all of our cameras, did a great job for us. But I'm going to give you the demo here of what Verkada looks like for our school. If you aren't familiar with Verkada, they are completely cloud-based solutions. So I don't have a DVR, MVR on my network at all. It's all stored up in the cloud through AWS. It's really, really user-friendly and intuitive. I've got teachers and principals and even my superintendent that are all using it. They're managing and viewing the content from their devices. So there's no in between on, can you go find this for me, or anything like that. It's self-maintained, basically. They just do what they need to do, and I'm hands off, which is kind of nice because I've got obviously other things to deal with. So if we ever have an incident, they can take care of those. So let me just jump right into it. We're going to go to command.verkada.com, and that's going to bring me into my site list, I guess. And this will show me all of the sites that I've set up that my cameras are housed in. So I've got my high school indoor site. I've got my high school outdoor site for all my outdoor cameras. And then we've got them in our middle school as well. So these are our middle school indoor cameras and then our middle school outdoor cameras. They're all mounted, obviously, in strategic locations. If I ever needed to add another site, like our elementary, I go up here to manage sites, and then I could just create a site right here, add a name, and then I would just add the cameras to that based on the location that they're in. I can also filter my cameras by status. So if I click on this, you'll see that I do have a couple that are offline. So if I uncheck that and go to offline, I've got 2 that I know are offline. If I have any that are updating, but what I'm really concerned about are the cameras that are live. So these are, again, will show me my high school indoor cameras. I can also do a grid view, which my high school principal especially really likes. He's got a separate monitor, and this will allow him to see the cameras as they're working kind of in a grouped view. So we can set these up so that they cycle through every 30 seconds, I believe, that will kind of go through these. If I go over here to settings, I can do my auto rotate. So automatically it's going to go from this grid to the next grid to show me the next set of cameras. So kind of a neat little feature they offer. If I wanted to have maybe my security cameras in an office or something, front entrance, or in a, I don't know, a location that whoever needed to see them didn't want to have any hands on, this would allow them to do that. So I do like that feature. I know that people do use that. The thing that I really like most about this software, or the hardware and the software, is it has a lot of facial recognition, and it gives us 30-day of unlimited storage. And that all depends on the licensing you purchase, but we went with the 30-day storage for our cameras. So it'll store 30 days worth of recorded content. You can also get a 15-day license, I believe. I'm not sure if it goes any smaller than that. But if something happens, you know, that somebody figures out 2 weeks later, I can go back to that day and I can find out when and what happened at that time without any problems or worries that I wouldn't have that footage. And to actually access the people, let's just go through an example here. So say that I was, maybe I knew a student was in, let's go to our, so here's our lunchroom. Say I knew a student, there was an incident maybe in a specific area. It has a grid view option, which is really neat. So I can actually highlight here, and this will show me all the motion that's in this area over the last 30 days, right? So maybe I wanted to delve down and not have to cycle through all this by scrolling. So I could actually go to set my date range and change it from, maybe we're going to go from the 31st to the 31st, and I know the incident happened from 1 o'clock to maybe, let's go to 2 o'clock. Now it's going to give me all the motion at that time, through that time frame, on that day, just in that area. You can also get rid of the grid and then do the same thing, and it'll show you that time frame as well. I can do a heat map if I want. I don't know if we would ever use a heat map, but that'll show you kind of who moved around and all that. Also, I can do a people search, right? So I'll show you kind of a really neat thing that I've done in the past. If I think that maybe I had a person or a student or whatever that was causing a problem, I needed to check his or her activity for a day, I can actually upload a picture from campus. So I'm going to pick on my wife. If I select her face here, this is going to show me all the times that it recognizes her face over the last 30 days. And then so maybe I know that sometime on March 31st, she was in a place that in a hall, and she took a Chromebook, but I don't know when. Well, as it turns out, she was. We found her here on GCMS 28. I can click on that, and that's going to bring me right to that position where she might have been. And if she took a Chromebook out of a locker or whatever, yep, there it is. And now I know that that happened. So if that were to happen, I can actually archive the contents, and that allows me to save it on Verkada's cloud storage forever. Anything that I archive, again, will be saved without any time limits or restrictions, and then I can forward that via email, via text message, via I guess email or text message to whoever I needed to, and that's by clicking this little archive button. Otherwise, if I want to do a screenshot right now, I can just click on this little camera button. That's going to take a picture of it, and then it's going to allow me to save it to my desktop right now. So now I've got a picture, and I'll show you here. So there's that. So now I can forward that to mom and dad, police, whoever I need to forward that to. But if I needed to capture the video, I just click on the archive button there, and then I select my time. So I'm going to say that I need to see from 3:29:53 to 3:54:53. I'm going to share this with the organization. I can also blur faces if I want to. That would blur out all the student faces that would for confidentiality or something like that. But I'm going to keep those unblurred, and I'm going to hit archive. So now if I go back over here, I'm going to close out of this, and I'm going to go over my archive. We'll see that it's actually archiving the video that I selected, and then I'd be able to share that with the individual that I need to once that's finished. Obviously, the longer the video is, the longer it's going to take, but this, in most cases, will be ready within 24 hours, depending on how long it is. This shouldn't be too long at all, since it's only 5 minutes. So let's just say I want to check out this one, though. I'll give you kind of a deeper look at how we would share this. So first things first, I can download it. So I can put it on a flash drive if I want. Hit download. It would ask me where I wanted to save it to. And then I could, it saves it as an MP4 file format, which is convenience. And I could save it to my computer. Otherwise, if I wanted to share it with somebody, this is what's really, really neat and intuitive. I can do via text, I can do via email, or I can do via link. That's what I was forgetting about. So if I wanted to send it to maybe a police officer via text message, I would select SMS. The link expires. This tells me how much time that person that's going to receive the link has to watch it. We can do just an hour. So if they don't watch it within the hour, within an hour, they click on that link and it's going to give them an access denied error. I could give them a day, I could give them a week, or I could do a custom. And if we want to do forever, I would just maybe do a 99999. Whoops. I take that back. You can't do longer than 1 year. You just learned that today. Cool. So 860 hours or 8,760 hours, that's a year. And they'll be able to access, view and download the video, or we could just do access to view it. So there are two different restrictions there. They can download it or they can only view it. Then I have to add a recipient. So just to add recipients, Brent Gerzema, and then I would just give them their phone number. 386-3613, that's my office number. But if that were a cell phone number, that would literally send a text message to the person with that link, and they'd be able to click on it, and then on their smart device, they could watch the clip. Otherwise, I can do the same thing by doing an add recipient with an email. So I'll show you here. Brent Gerzema, Gerzema, Greene County Net. And I wonder, since I'm already added, yep. So I'm going to hit share with Brent Gerzema. I hit send. And now it's going to send me that email with the access to the link. So if I were to copy this link, paste it here, this is what I'm going to see, which will allow me to view or download the video if I wanted to. So here's my download button, and here's the actual video itself being played. It actually does a little bit more detail than than you would see if you were viewing the camera itself. You got your time, you've got your location, and your site as well with the date. So really pretty neat that way.
Another nice thing, Brent, just to add that
yep.
Those people that you send it to don't have to be a Verkada user within in the system. So that's what's nice, be able to share it with a parent or the police or whatever. They don't have to have an account to be able to view that video.
Exactly. Just like with Google, anyone with a link can view, same concept. If they have that link, they click on it and you've given them permission, they're good to go. So really intuitive. It's like they've thought about a lot of things, obviously, and done a really good job on that end. So another thing that I've done here that I really like, or I literally just used it the other day. What was that? I'm going to go back here and I want to see what date she's on here. So today at GCMS 4. So if I go back to sites and go to GCMS 4, I'm going to find my camera 4. Was that 4? Here we are, right here. So I can see, again, my live view right here, and it defaults to standard definition. You can change that to high definition as a default as well. I will say I have not noticed any issues with latency or bandwidth consumption with these cameras. I've got Intermapper up, and after we installed them, it does not bog down my network at all. That was one thing I was a little bit concerned with since it's all going to the cloud, but it's a non-issue. And I don't know what kind of compression they use, or maybe an engineer will be able to tell you that. But again, we're a 300 meg circuit here is all, and it's not a problem. So if you're worried about that, I would say unless you're really limited on bandwidth, don't be worried about it. But again, if I go people here, I can do my search by uploading photo right there. I hit upload. I'm going to find Abby's photo. So I just pulled this right off Infinite Campus, and then it's going to do a search, and there she is today. And then any other time it found her, right? So super savvy, just incredible, to be honest with you. And it's going to go back a long ways. So neat that way. I did that with a student, I'll be honest. Just actually 2 days ago, we had an incident in our lunchroom where a student had a fight with another student, and instead of going back to what time it might have happened, I just uploaded his photo from campus and it found it right away. It was less than 3 minutes of work for me. So, and definitely a clear enough picture that it was easy to identify him, obviously. So it'll give you stats on what it's taking for traffic in, traffic out, things of that nature. That's kind of neat. Again, I can archive stuff. And then if I were to go in here and I wanted to change this specific camera, I can change my name right here by clicking on it. I can change the orientation, change my location if I'd like. And you'll see my storage capacity is for 30 days. This is a CD41. It gives me a local IP address, checks my firmware. So all my information is provided there as well. I can go into settings here and do a bunch of other stuff. I won't bore you with that, but there are advanced settings with auditing and device logging and things of that nature too. So, yeah, one other thing too is the types of cameras that they offer. So the normal CD41s, those are kind of a single direction facing camera. They also have the D80s, which are more of a fisheye lens. So this is the fisheye lens here, and this is in night mode right now. It'll actually default, it auto senses the lighting and then changes. And in this case, it must not be bright enough for it to think that it should switch to day mode. But you can also change that to kind of a 4-zone cropped area, I guess, if you will, so that it allows you to kind of see all 4 quadrants And I'm going to switch that to HD. There is a zoom function on these as well. So if I wanted to zoom, I can go right in here, and this is our study hall right now. It's happening. And then this is kind of our main commons area facing south. And then this would be facing east. I'll zoom out a little bit. And then this is, whoops, that's south again. So, whoops, this was north and this is south. I'm actually backwards on that. But that'll do a full 360 view of it, which is really, really neat on that one. So, yeah, they make all kinds of different cameras. And this has been, the thing I like about it is it's been very hands-off. Just, it's just set it and forget it. You will get notifications if a camera goes offline, or if, and you can set all this up and customize it as you'd like. But if you want to get a text for anytime somebody maybe touches it, there are tampering notifications. So if it jostles, or if it sees something that shakes it, not see something, but if it gets shaken at all, you'll get a tampering notification. Sometimes light settings can trigger that. So you got to kind of be a little bit sensitive with that. So if a light gets flipped on, it can think that it's been tampered with. So there is some initial customization on that end, but there's not much. But they're very, they're self-sufficient. You set them up and they're not hard to set up at all. You plug them into a PoE switch and you register them in your console. You can use a little, it comes with a QR code scanner. And I had TechZone do all that for us, but it's really user-friendly that way. And once they're in your console, you just put them in the right site and you can name them. And then you just walk away and forget about them, because that's, I haven't had any problems with any of them. Well, I take that back. I haven't had any problems that haven't been something I couldn't figure out. One hardware issue out of the box, but with this many cameras, that's not uncommon at all. So I guess one other thing that I should tell you about with the console here is you can do user level permissions. So I have some admins, and then I also have some view only users, just depending on what type of permission I think they can have. But I can set people so that they can view only the live footage. If I have, I don't know, maybe a study hall monitor or something like that, I can have people that can view live and then check historical footage. And then I can have other people that maybe can archive and send to other individuals if they needed to through the archive. So there's different levels that we can assign users, and then I can assign groups and things of that nature too, all through this little admin link over here on the left-hand sidebar. So with licensing, I bought 10-year licensing. So that's one thing you'll want to think about too. You do have to purchase a license for this camera to work. I think they come in 1, 3, 5, and 10-year increments, but I might be wrong on that. Anna and Tanner can help you more with that, Bob and Tim as well. But the longer the license you buy, the better the price is. And we're planning to have these for long haul, so we went that route. And again, very much set it and forget it. But yeah, that's basically the console in a nutshell. I'm really happy with them, I'll be honest. We've got a milestone system in our elementary that is a giant pain in the rear, and I've got blobs that are walking through my halls that you can't really tell who's what. So you're guessing in some cases. There's a lot more hands-on with that, especially since the principal doesn't tend to use it so much, so he doesn't know how to access it. So I've got to basically find things for him if he ever requests something. So this one's much more user-friendly. The quality is much better, and I don't have hardware that I need to worry about for storage that I would with the milestone system. So yeah, anything to add with that, Tim or Bob?
Nope, I think you covered all the high points.
Did you want to touch base on the mobile app at all, Brent?
Yes, thank you. Thanks for the reminder, Tanner. Let me quick share my screen here on my phone. So yeah, they do offer a mobile app that is basically the same thing on your phone. All right, go here. Just go to Verkada, this little command, and here we are. So I can scroll through my cameras and say I wanted to go back and find my GCMS4. I think I can do a search. Here we go. So I'm going to do search GCMS4. I'm going to find this camera as well. And that's going to bring me to it. And here I am with it. And again, I can do a motion grid if I'd like. Select what I want. It's going to show me down kind of in the white area once it finds the motion on what it found there. I can move that. And I can go, if I want to scroll through the timeline by hand, I just move this little slider here. And the nice thing is, I didn't touch on this, the blue indicates there's motion, right? It's found somebody that moved in the hall or something that moved in the hall. So that's going to show me where people have been or where it's detected people and maybe where it hasn't. If I don't see any blue, it's not going to find any motion. I can also do a people search here for people history, or you can also do the face search as well. So here's, again, more people that it's found. I can do a when if I want to do that. So it's definitely filtered that way. Face search, I can do upload photo. So let's see if I can find a picture of myself. I actually did a selfie here. We'll see if I've been walking through that hall anytime recently that it finds. The tricky part is with masks, but in this case, it did find me. This is just today, me walking through the hall. And I was pretty much looking down, which to me is incredible. That's a selfie that I took, and it's able to identify that this is me with a mask on based on the photo that I literally showed it. Here comes me again, based on that selfie. So again, this is really intuitive, super easy. All I did was I just took a picture of myself on my phone, but I could put an Infinite Campus photo or whatever, school photo of a student and upload them that way if I wanted to find them. So yeah, I can, again, super savvy. I can do this anywhere that I mean, I could be in Cancun, I can work with Anna. And oops, I just shut my screen share off there, and I could be looking through my Verkada security camera footage from my phone, while I'm on vacation somewhere. I don't have to be on site. It's all through the cloud, which is super nice. So really user-friendly and convenient that way.
Hey, I really love that. And I love that you can see it from anywhere. That made me think, can you guys talk a little bit about the theory behind like having a solution like this where you can actually, the buses, it seems like, are always a blind spot. And I feel like this solution really offers like kind of a different opportunity from what we've been doing historically with tapes and all of that craziness. Can you guys talk a little bit about your experience in that arena?
Do you mean mounted in the buses, Anna?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so we don't actually have any in our buses. We're looking to do that, but yeah, if we could, I mean, you think about that. Our custodian, our head maintenance guy, we've had to do a couple incident findings based on fights that we've had in buses and things like that. And he's got to pull out this huge hard drive, and then we got to get it connected via USB. And the software is super old, and boy, it's a giant pain. So I'm actually going to push for getting Verkada cameras to replace those devices. And the thing too is, we weren't even sure if the hard drives worked. They hadn't been maintained. It was the first time I'd ever really seen them. And again, they're very old. It's an archaic solution. So I was kind of crossing my fingers that we'd be able to get anything, and we did. But in this case, if I can see that right now, I'm assured that, okay, we've got this coverage. It won't be a problem. And obviously, if there's an issue, I'll get a text that says this camera went offline or whatever. And that's going to tell me, okay, I know that I've got an issue. But with the solution we have right now, it's a cross your fingers and hope it works. And if we have an incident, I hope we got that footage, because we won't know until we plug it in and find out.
Thank you. I just think that's such a crazy improvement, and my own kids had some interesting stories on the buses too, so I just kind of wonder what's happening there. And I know it's really hard for the schools to respond when something like that happens.
Right. Tim and Bob, did you want to talk about door solution?
Yeah, we can talk about that briefly. Just about over a year ago, they came out with the door access solution. And it really integrates very well. And since Brent doesn't have door access on Verkada yet, we'll switch over. And give you a look at a different site. So this is Southeast Polk, and they have Verkada cameras and door access. So you'll just notice where Brent's command console had just cameras, and when you enroll your first door access unit, it just adds another tab here for door access, which is pretty slick. It does have its own mobile app also that's separate. So you can lock doors from your phone and everything else that you normally can do with access control from your phone. This is just kind of the live view. It shows the last doors that were open down at Southeast Polk. This is their technology office door here. And so what's cool about this is you can, if you've got a camera located near that door, you can tie that camera to the door. So everything is recorded in Verkada together. So you can go back and see the footage of somebody coming in that door without having to go to search two different systems. It's all tied together.
You can have 2 cameras per door. So you could have an inside camera and an outside camera. In some instances, that's what you have set up.
You can also do like a parking lot camera. So you can do a camera of people coming into the parking lot, and you can do a low camera for a license plate camera. So there's really some cool solutions with that. So we just go into sites here. Again, we're on the door access side. So we see the buildings where they have door access, tells us the name of the door and the status of the door. And if there's a camera associated with it, it's going to show you the camera view and the status of the door. So it's really nice compared to, traditional door access systems where you're just seeing the door, but now you can also see a live view from that camera and see that it's closed. So you can just scroll through, very similar to the way set up your sites for cameras. You just set up your doors here. And here, show some doors that are open at the high school. It'll also record denied entry, all the things in normal door access. You can get alerts for those if somebody's trying to get into an area they're not supposed to, or into a building they're not supposed to with their card, your devices.
See if we had the history on there. There you go.
So here's the history of that door. You can see here the user that opened it at that time. You can see here somebody propped it open, and you'll get alerts if that's the case too. The door's been propped open. So you can see a lot of the history there of that door. If you go to devices, then you'll see these are the AC41 units, controller units in the buildings, usually in an IT or janitor closet. And the number of readers, each one of these AC41s can have 4 doors attached to it. And I think they're going to expand in the near future the ability to have more doors per controller. And in most cases, you can use your existing door readers. So it's not a case where you've got to go, Verkada door readers. If you've got acceptable door readers, weekend readers existing, then you can use those same readers. Verkada does have their own readers, and they have a Bluetooth reader that you can put the app on your phone and just tap your phone to the reader to get access. So they've got their own line of readers, but you don't necessarily have to do that if you've got good working readers in your existing installation. It's pretty easy to convert, and most of these that we've done, probably 70% of them are 75% are conversions
Mhm.
versus, 25% are new installs. And you can control your users again the same way. You add them into the software and give them, you have different access groups. So, this group can only access these 3 or 4 doors. So if you've worked with access control before, you have all the same features. But what I find really slick is tying cameras to the door and having the same interface, because Brent's environment or in a lot of school environments, you've got multiple pieces of software you're using. And I know at Greene County with our milestone, we had to buy an add-on that would tie a camera to a door, but so you're kind of piecemealing together where this is a one interface, one console, and you got access to both doors and cameras. So that's pretty much a high overview, of the door access.
Are there any questions or anything, you guys? I think if there isn't, we're perfectly on time. So that's just fantastic. Thank you guys so much for jumping on and sharing. I think it's a lot more meaningful to hear how something's being used than the old familiar sales pitch. So we really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You guys have an awesome weekend.
You too.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.